There we go.
Survivor specialists Phil and Alexa are back, and I want to hear the chants of MVP, 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 because I've been taking so much crap these last 2 weeks from Alexa for getting LVP twice in a row. And
It's
man,
just true.
if you guys don't give Joe MVP this week, we're gonna have some serious problems because Joe's move tonight, that tribal council was so great. We'll get into Jessica's decision to actually give it to Devin, which I disagree with, but we'll get there. And we'll talk about what Joe just did tonight. That move was so good because it clearly could have been Desi or Joe. And I'm pretty sure Allan even said it in his final words. We talked about it, and I just didn't weigh it all out. And really, I think this just comes down to the arrogance of Joe would never keep it for himself. He's always going to give it to Desi. Well, he didn't tonight, and that move was freaking awesome.
So I have a lot to say about this because Joe's move was freaking amazing. My heart was beating so fast. Like, that tribal council was just insane. Like, I had no idea what was going to happen, but I'm just saying, like, you might get LVP 3 weeks in a row tonight. I'm just throwing that one.
Oh, no, I probably will, but I want the MVP too. And who had Allan in our thing?
That was Vaughn, actually. Vaughn took the L tonight.
Vaughn, keep taking the L's, Vaughn, you know. And he had Jessica as his eliminator pick. We all survived the eliminator thing, but I know you had to be sweating a little bit because you picked Devin, right?
Well, we were both sweating. Both of our people went to tribal council tonight.
I knew they both were going, but I had a feeling that Joe, with that idol, he was playing it tonight. Once they really brought up a lot about it. So I kind of knew that Joe was going to end up playing it. I just wasn't sure, like, what scared me was, like, is Joe going to play it inaccurately? But I was scared that what would happen is that they would be scared to do the tie. So once Devin wasn't allowed to vote, that's what I thought was going to happen. Once Devin wasn't allowed to vote, I thought they were going to be like, okay, let's get rid of him. Because let's just do 4-0 and, like, start from scratch next time. I don't want to have to get voted out because of a 2-2 tie.
See, I didn't even think about that at all because I think what happened at camp when Joe and Allan kind of got at each other, I was like, well, the lines are kind of drawn there. Devin says he's a swing vote. He said that at tribal council, but I didn't see him as a swing vote at all, which made Joe's move even more impressive because you have the person who you know puts you at a disadvantage. He's suddenly taken out of the equation. And there's two people. It's you or it's your alliance member. And for him to just read Ashley's face like a book, and, like, Ashley's face, her jaw was on the ground. So good on him for catching that. But that was incredible. And they edited this entire episode so well, but this tribal council even better. Because when they cut to Ashley and Allan, they were like, meh, whatever, like trying to play it cool. But then Allan went home. I totally thought Ashley was out.
No, I knew what was going to end up happening was this was going to end up being, if Joe was playing that idol and they knew it was coming, I think they were going to try to get rid of the bigger guy. Because don't get rid of Ashley, because they're probably saying to themselves, we can get rid of Ashley whenever we need to. But Allan, he's the threat. And Allan's the one, he was so aggressive with Joe after Joe was aggressive with him. You know that these two are just going to butt heads the entire time. There's never a chance you're ever going to work with Allan. And I think Desi's probably sitting there saying to herself, I could probably work with Ashley at some point and be like, look, Joe's the crazy guy, not me. So I think that's why they ended up going Allan. Plus, Allan's so much more threatening once, like, a merge hits or something, and he just seems like he's going to cause more chaos than Ashley, which might not necessarily be true, but that's at least what it seems like on face value.
No, I definitely agree with that, in that, like, Ashley could probably wiggle herself in a little bit more than Allan. But I'm super impressed. I'm glad you brought up Desi. I'm so impressed with how she handled it, because if my alliance member – says, hey guys, let's have a powwow and let's decide who we're going to vote out, which usually doesn't work out. It worked out beautifully for Joe. It's so easy for her to be like, what the F? Like, why did my alliance member just do that? And she kept herself so cool. She said, well, all of a sudden now I'm like, I think it was Jeff said, like, if I can't kill you, I'm going to kill your wife. Desi was sort of the obvious move after that, but because there were only two of them, it's literally a coin flip over who you're going to pick over that. And they cut to her face when Joe's like, I don't know if it's gonna be me or her, and she's like, give it to me, please. And he was so good about it, and that very well could have been construed as, oh, of course he's going to keep himself. But Joe said it himself. He said, if I don't save Desi, then I'm going home in 3 days anyway, and I wasted an idol. So he saved his alliance member. He was incredible tonight.
Yeah, and I really do think like he'll probably get a lot of crap for that blow up and everything.
Which
I think it's
is like well deserved.
Well, no, but I think it's a good strategic move. I think it's just executed poorly. But on top of that, what worked to his benefit is Allan was one of the people that you were blowing up at. And Allan, you know, for everything that we saw of Allan and how crazy he was episode 1, Allan started to pull it together, and I'll probably talk about it when I write my little thing tonight. But Allan actually went to bat for Ashley here, and it ended up being his downfall, is that he ended up trying to stay with Ashley once this swap hit, because he realized, like, I can't flip on you. Like, I know we had beef in the past, but I can't flip on you. And this actually ends up being his downfall, because when Joe brings this up, rather than just letting Ashley get thrown under the bus, kind of like how Desi just let herself get thrown under the bus, let Ashley defend herself here. But Allan is so passionate and such a hothead that Allan started going back at Joe, and I think that was the moment where everything was just lost.
But see, I don't think that was an Allan issue. I think that was just you have a group of 5 and one person is being the aggressor. So Allan probably, whether or not he defended Ashley, probably still thought, okay, well, Joe's the one who started this. Joe's the one who's looking like a jerk here. And they got Devin onto their side, which turned out to be useless anyways. And I think maybe he even thought, okay, maybe Desi can move over, because Desi and Joe were probably not really aligned when they were back on the Healers Beach originally. So he probably thought, okay, if Joe's going to make a stink about this, I'll just grab Desi and then it's all over. It just didn't work out that way at all.
More of what my point was, it wasn't so much that it's because Allan stood up for Ashley, that's why they targeted Allan. What I'm saying is because of how passionate Allan is, that's the reason his votes went to Joe. Because like you said, Joe was the aggressor there. So Allan's saying to himself, man, we can't vote out Desi because Joe is the villain. Joe is the bad guy. Joe's the guy I want to go. And I think it was a lapse for Allan, because he even said in his exit interview, I wasn't thinking of every single possibility, because I think he let his emotions get the best of him a little bit, which is what really worked for Joe here, is that he was talking to such an emotional person.
Well, to be fair, Allan isn't the only one who voted for Joe. Ashley also voted for Joe, and Devin presumably would have voted for Joe. So I want to know why they chose him, because I don't think it was Allan's like.
I think Allan was the one who had the biggest say in that. I think
Ashley's the one who got thrown. Ashley's the one who got thrown under the bus.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I think that Allan's sitting there going, he doesn't have the idol. He doesn't have the idol. He doesn't have the idol. If he does have the idol, he's going to play it on Desi because he thinks we're coming for her. Like I'm telling you, I think this was mostly Allan, and I'm sure we'll see in the exit interviews tomorrow.
Well, yeah, that's what I hear. I don't think that was a purely Allan decision. I think that's why I want to know like how they decided on Joe instead of Desi.
Yeah. But the other thing with this Devin, this whole advantage thing, I don't agree with what Jessica did here, mainly for the reason that what if Devin actually was siding with them? Like, you had to be thinking to yourself, there's no way the two heroes are going to side with the Healers. So you got to be saying to yourself, what's the point of giving this to Devin, who's the swing vote, when you could when you could give this to an obvious hero who's never going to vote with the Hustlers? Because in this situation, it always ends up where it's 2-2-1. It happened with it happened with Adam 2 seasons ago, where Adam gets on that beach. He's got Jessica and Ken pulling him one way, and he's got Figgy and Taylor pulling him the other. And you find yourself in the middle. And I think that's what's interesting here is Devin is going to be the swing vote. How is she so confident? And I know that there's 6 Hustlers, but there's still 5 heroes. How is she so confident that Devin is going to side with the heroes and vote out either Joe or Desi? Because I would be giving this thing to Allan or Ashley and just saying you don't get a vote. I would probably give it to Ashley because Allan and Joe might bond.
Well, I actually think you answer your own question with that. Those 4 very well could have teamed together and say, wait, Devin's easy vote out. Let's just get him instead.
But if that's the case, you still give it to Ashley because then it's 3-1. That you still vote out Devin. If that's the case, you're still voting out Devin if you give it to Ashley. So if you give it to Devin, you just completely negate him and just let him go home. But he's going home anyway. But what you're doing by giving it to Devin is giving it to Devin never works out beneficially for you. Because if you give it to Devin, right? Here's my reasoning for this. If you give it to Devin over Ashley, and Devin was going to vote with the Healers, well, now you just lost their 3rd vote, so now it's 2-2. If Devin wasn't going to vote with the Healers, but you gave it to Ashley, it's 2-2 anyway. And if they were going to vote out Devin, it's 4-0. So no matter what, giving it to Devin is the wrong move, because if Devin doesn't get
But if it's 4-0 Devin, then it's not a wrong move. It's just a non-move, which is what happened with the first one.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's no reason to do it There's no reason the pros don't outweigh the cons. The cons there are so much heavier because if you give it to Ashley, it's 3-1. Devin still goes home. If you give it to Devin, it could be 4-0, but most likelihood you just took away the swing vote. Well, why take away the swing vote that could possibly be with your side?
But what I'm saying is she wasn't looking at it as a swing vote. Whether or not that was correct, it turned out to not be correct. But you're looking at that. I understand like why you immediately think it's a swing vote, but I think it's, at least in her mind, I need to protect these two. And so these two it's a group of 5. You can't hide. They'll just work with the other pair. This has been a season about pairings and couples.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
No. I get what you're thinking. I'm just letting you know that like giving it to Devin here is always wrong. I don't even care. That was my reasoning, and like, but that was why I don't think it was a bad move. Like, you think it's a bad move for the wait. So why are you telling me that this was a good move? I'm
not saying it's a good. I'm saying it's not a bad move. You're saying no matter what you give it to Devin, it's not a good move for Jessica.
It's the wrong move. Yeah.
No healer went home tonight, so therefore this is not a bad move for Jessica.
But a healer easily could have gone home if Joe didn't play his idol.
But Jessica's vote, like. I don't like Joe was
100% of the time, but you don't know where Devin's at.
That's exactly what I'm saying. She doesn't know where Devin's at.
But you know where the heroes are at. So you get rid of the hero. So you eliminate the hero's vote. It's just logic.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't agree with that, but that's okay.
I'm looking at the chat and they don't agree with you. So I like.
Yeah. Well, the chat's always right.
Well, they're right in this situation because you can't give me a good reason why this was right. This is a
I'm
wrong
saying
move.
it wasn't wrong.
It is wrong. It is. It is.
Well,
it's
we'll
totally
find out.
wrong every time.
No healer went home.
No, yeah, exactly. No healer went home because Joe played an idol. Okay, anyway, Jessica made the wrong move.
Let's move on.
100% Jessica made the wrong move. But it worked out because, as we saw, Joe plays this idol. Devin, though, in a weird situation, Devin thinks he's got this advantage, and he's so pumped about it. And I think it's really weird that they labeled it secret advantage because it wasn't an advantage.
That they did that.
But it was weird to me. What was weird to me is like I almost got a little lost in the shuffle here because what happened was Jessica got that, and I knew she was blocking a vote. But then because it still said secret advantage on it, I was like, wait, so Devin getting it, does that mean he gets to give it to somebody to block the vote? Because I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I got a little confused when Devin went into his bag and had it, and I was like, why would she give him the power to block someone's vote?
Yeah, no, that would, and in that case, that would have been like, what the F is going on? That would have been ridiculous. I kind of liked that they labeled it that way. And also he just that awkward 5-second pause. Yeah, this is not an advantage was awesome. That was super well done. But Allan, even in his last words, he thought, I don't know if it was just like how Allan phrased it, but he thought Devin played him.
Well, no. I think that was just how he phrased it. I think what he was saying is, I don't know where. I think pretty much what Allan was saying is, I don't know where the hell you pulled out that advantage, but my God, that was bad. I think that was more of
the worst thing that could have happened. Yeah,
I think that's more of what he was saying. I don't think he thought that.
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, if Devin, that would have been like insane, like 4D chess if Devin was like pretending that it was a bad thing.
Yeah,
I wonder if Jeff would let you do that. If let's say like he got an extra vote and he said, oh, I actually don't get a vote at all, and then just didn't vote. I don't think they would let him do that.
Well, that's what I was starting to wonder is like if Devin is in this position where Devin actually gets he opens it up and it's like you can block someone's vote. Would he have just sat there and been like, I don't want to use this? Because like at that point you're showing your hand and then that makes Joe play his idol. So I almost feel like you can't, like in that situation, you don't want that.
Yeah. I know. I kind of liked it. And it's funny. We actually talked about this last night in our prediction podcast about how we felt about these kind of one-time advantages and therefore disadvantages. I liked it. I really like, especially because both times the person who had it didn't go to tribal council. So it threw in an interesting dynamic there.
Well, and what's interesting about these two is like they don't feel like they're overwhelming. It's not something that's completely changing the way the game is played. I get that this one, like Devin doesn't get to vote, which is obviously a big thing, but it's also happening right after a swap. And it really did provide excitement, and it didn't feel too orchestrated because no matter what, Joe's got to play his idol tonight, as we know. And I know we're looking at this in retrospect, so it's hard to like, but in that moment, if Devin votes either way, Joe's going to get 3 votes. He gets 2 tonight, but he's going to get 3 votes. So it doesn't really change all that much that Devin didn't get to vote. It just added such a unique element where the entire time you're saying, is this actually going to screw Devin? Is Devin going to be the one who ends up getting more hurt by this than anything? And also, by getting Devin's vote removed, does that make Joe want to play the idol more, or does that make him want to play it less? Because there's no way I don't think that Joe and Devin ever really hit it off.
Yeah, and that's what's going to be interesting for Devin. It kind of worked out in that he technically never voted for Joe. I mean, we see in the preview that he ends up going with Ashley anyways, and I could kind of just tell he was not going to work with Joe and Desi anyways. But I think I like what it did, because it took away your swing vote, and Joe, I guess it worked out. It actually probably made it more difficult for Joe, because then it was just, okay, there's one or the other. It probably would have been even more obvious that it was going to him with Devin involved. So I think it made it more difficult when you take one person out of the equation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also what would have been interesting if Devin was in a situation where it's like, oh, I have to pick whose vote is blocked. It would have been like, wait a second. Like, he would have had to be like, wait, do I say Joe or do I say, or do I say Desi? Because what are we going to do with this idol? So it does add an interesting element. I'm okay with this one, just like I was okay with the other one. I mean, these are cool little things that aren't completely affecting the game. This isn't like a final, oh, you get an immunity idol, a final 6, and somebody's going to have it no matter what. Like, this isn't the legacy advantage. This isn't something like that. This is something that I think actually works pretty uniquely and pretty well.
Just like kind of little cherry bombs here and there. I've really liked these so far.
Yeah. All right. Well, then over at Yawa, I guess we'll call it Red Tribe.
Yeah. Speaking of Jessica,
we might as well go over there, and then we'll get to the Ben tribe, or not the Ben tribe, the Chrissy tribe last. But over here, okay. I just can't wrap my head around what went on here tonight. I will say this. Look, on my last recap, a week ago from today, I was screaming about Lauren. We misheard her. I still disagree with a lot of things she said, but tonight Lauren played this as perfectly as she could.
Thank you.
I mean, what do you think I was going to say? I mean, I'm not blind. I mean, I forgive and forget.
I'm just saying every single week you said Lauren can't fit in. Lauren can't fit in. Lauren stirred this up beautifully.
I don't even know if this was her necessarily fitting in. I think this is Cole just being so dumb. Like, what is he doing?
Oh my God.
And I think this actually plays better into Lauren's personality. Because if Lauren has to come onto a tribe and just make friends, she's never going to do it. It's never going to happen. She's never going to just come into this tribe and be like, oh, I'm going to go be friends with Mike, Cole, and Jessica. Look, it already was shown. But let me finish. It was already shown that her and Ben were definitely the outsiders, and these three were going to stick together. But what happens here is Jessica gives her information, and now Lauren can be her normal self while telling people this. And that's her in. She didn't have to go outside of her comfort zone. She just got to sit there and say, hey, Mike, you want to know something? And I think that's what works so well for her here.
I mean, that worked perfectly for her, but you're saying that she literally cannot be put on a tribe and make friends. That is exactly what happened on the Hustlers tribe. That is exactly what happened on her previous tribe.
I don't know. I think that's more of Patrick. Was that not more of Patrick making enemies?
So are you saying that if they never lost an immunity challenge, let's say she's on the healers, that she wouldn't have any friends on that tribe?
I didn't.
She would. Yeah, but you're saying that she can't make friends on a tribe.
No. See, you're just putting words into my mouth and taking the most.
No, I'm not. Tell me what. No, tell me what you're saying.
Okay, I just told you what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is this fit into her personality. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying she can't make friends. I'm saying her and Ben were probably getting along very well because they had to team up.
Then tell me what you said when you just said if Lauren can't just like make friends on a tribe. What did you say there?
That's not what I'm saying. Is it's not in her personality to go over and be like, oh, Jessica, oh, Cole, let's go out fishing. This is going to be great. Her personality is to sit back with Ben and say, I thought we were all going fishing today. But what worked to her advantage is that Cole approached her with this information. So now she gets to stick within her own personality without having to go outside of it in order to make this alliance and make this move. She didn't have to go outside of her comfort zone, which I don't think she's very good at.
Well, I don't know why you don't think she's good at that, because we didn't see that happening on the Hustlers tribe, so I don't see why she wouldn't be able to do that. She was
never really shown going into the Hustlers tribe. It was a lot of people coming to her.
Well, because it was a lot of like Ryan and Devin hanging out the whole time.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying what benefits Lauren, and I don't know why this is being seen as hatred. This is not. I'm complimenting Lauren.
No, I'm not.
I'm not talking about you. I'm looking at the thing.
Guys, chill.
I'm looking at the live chat. I am not saying this is nothing to do with hatred of Lauren at all. This is me complimenting Lauren and saying that what was given to her, she used the best way that she knew how. I'm saying that by Cole giving her the information, he gave her what she needed in order to fit in better on this tribe. Had he not given her this information, I doubt she makes a bond with Mike. I really do. Because her and Ben were bonding, but I bet Ben would have probably had to been the one who goes out and makes that alliance. But because of this, she's able to sit there and say, hey, Mike, do you know about this? That's what ends up working for her.
Man, the live chat has been wild tonight.
I mean, Giovanni, I hope you abandon the podcast. Go away.
Whoa.
I mean, I don't care. I don't care.
Let's talk about Cole's boneheaded move there. So
yes,
when he said, I mean, it was almost endearing. He said, I can use this as an olive branch to try to make more friends on this tribe. And actually, I wish we'd seen more of the Healers tribe dynamic, because when she told Cole, she also told Mike there. Mike was also the first person that she told, because he was there with Cole. So I didn't know that they had much of a relationship. It was probably because, you know, we're up 3-2. We've been on the same tribe, so of course I'm going to tell you. And then when he told Ben, I was like, okay, that's not your information to tell, but maybe you're pulling in one person so that it's 4-on-1. And then when he tells Lauren, I'm just like, this is freaking insane. And Mike handled it as well as he could have when Lauren called him out for it. But then for Cole to just sit there and be like, no, I didn't, that wasn't me. I didn't do that. And then another great awkward 10 seconds with the, you know, maybe I told Ben. I don't remember. Maybe I told Ben. It was.
Well, because then it's not a lie anymore. Because he can sit there and say, look, I told Ben, but all you're calling me out for is telling Lauren. Ben must have gone and told Lauren, even though we watched Cole run around and tell everybody. And this is like one of those things where people don't realize, like, knowledge is power in this game. Like, you get somebody like Cole who clearly isn't the best player, I mean, as we're seeing, and he doesn't realize that knowledge is power. And by running around and telling this knowledge to everybody, you're now losing all of the power that you just had. And he really thinks like, oh yeah, like I'm making alliances and stuff. It's like, no, you're giving them ammo. And we saw Lauren use it perfectly on Mike. And hey, I don't necessarily know if Mike's ready to get rid of Cole at this point either, but Jessica is. And that's the big thing. Jessica is done. And that is the moment that's huge here, is that Cole might not have screwed himself with Mike, but Cole definitely screwed himself with Lauren. And not only with Jessica, and Lauren and Ben don't trust you as far as they can throw you. They don't trust you at all, because now you've just completely shown that you'll tell anybody anything.
And that's what I want to know, why he told both of them, because now your entire tribe knows. You're on a tribe of 5. There's nowhere to hide. So, I mean, yeah, telling a secret is bad in the first place. Second of all, you're telling a secret that's not even yours. You don't even have the advantage. So you very well could block your own vote. But the thing that blew my mind the most was that the entire tribe knew. So it completely negates the power of it.
Well, and not only that, he literally said to Ben, she's going to block one of y'all's votes.
Yeah, yes, one of yours.
What you're supposed to say is she's going to block Lauren's vote, and we're going to vote out Lauren to show you how loyal we are to you. If you're going to tell Ben anything, which at this point you don't tell Ben anything because it's a wasted advantage. It's not even a useful advantage. Plus, if you don't lose the challenge, now all you've done is totally ruin relationships and make Ben and Lauren even more skeptical of you. You're not doing anything here. This is so bad. Like, this is just like, at least telling the idol to Rourke and Desi, that could have a positive impact later in the game. But by doing this, it's a little baby advantage. It's kind of like Adam saying to Taylor, hey, look at this advantage I got. And Taylor being like, did you know he has that? It's not beneficial.
Yeah, no, that was a rough move. That was pretty bad. And like you said, like, Ben and Lauren handled it really well. Mike handled it really well. And Jessica is just, I mean, Jessica had buying away the most confessionals tonight. So I was like, what's going on here? But like we've said in previous podcasts, Jessica has been shown to be the brains of this operation. And so now it's going to be some interesting downfall of Cole. I mean, we've been told since day, Cole helped Joe get an idol. Then he told his whole tribe about it. And then Jessica found an advantage. And now he told his whole tribe about it. So that's someone who you wouldn't really want to be aligned with.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's totally true. Totally
and then
true.
On top of that, we got a really interesting character moment with Jessica where, I mean, there's clearly something had been brought up, something like she'd been reminded of something with what happened with Cole. And that's what makes this so interesting, because he's not just an ally. There's clearly some kind of like actual personal relationship there too. And that's why the two of them are so interesting together.
Yeah, and that's why this one is so different. Like when you look at like even like what happened tonight with like Allan and Ashley, Ashley can recover from that in a second because it's like, oh, Allan's gone. I don't care. Like I didn't like him anyway.
She didn't even want to be with him.
She's like so excited that she's still in the game, and it's like now I can make moves. And
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same thing. Like when even if Allie was aligned with Patrick, when Patrick goes home last week, it doesn't really affect her because it's like whatever. Like you know. This is something that he was going to have to go at some point anyway. But Jessica's thinking to herself, me and Cole are going to the final two. We're going to be in the final two together. And now he's pulling this, and this is the second time he's done it to her. Cole, we haven't even gotten going yet, and you're already doing it twice. And I think this is just insanity. I'm really curious. I'm glad we saw a little bit more of Dr. Mike tonight. I'm glad that Dr. Mike just walked out there. He's like, if you guys are playing me, I'm going to effing kill you. Like, I think that was
awesome.
great. Because you know, he's sitting there going, what the hell are you guys doing? Because he knows they're a couple. He can't be dumb. He has to know that they're actually a thing and that they're working closer together. So
yeah. And that's what's interesting. Lauren was the first person to point out to the viewers, or like two other contestants, that they're a couple. Obviously, it was like probably exceptionally clear on the Healers tribe, but no one ever talked about it, which I found to be really odd.
We didn't spend too much time with the Healers. That's why it was a lot with Joe finding this idol, which we saw why tonight, and really tonight, Work and Desi had pretty good episodes. I mean, both of them started to get a little bit more screen time. Mike even got a little bit more screen time. So the Healers are probably the most interesting tribe out of the three. I think out of the original tribes, I still think the Healers are the most interesting. I think the Heroes are still the most uninteresting, even though we got the cool moment tonight. But you know, it's just something that like. Right now, the Healers have so many storylines going on. And even now, like, you look at Mike, he could go with Cole and Jessica. But who does he fit in better with? Genuinely, who would he fit in better with? Cole and Jessica or Ben and Lauren? Ben and Lauren. That's the thing. So for Cole to be running around like a nutcase and doing all this stuff, Cole's gone the next time that tribe goes to tribal, because even if Jessica doesn't vote him, which I think she will, Mike's going to vote him anyway, because Mike's going to see himself being like, I can go to the final three with Lauren and Ben, and hopefully I'm just more likable than both of them, which he's not going to end up being more likable than Ben. But
and now that we've actually been talking about it, Cole made a boneheaded move. He's made a handful of boneheaded moves. But he's the reason Joe is safe tonight. How about that? There you go. I'm defending Cole there. How about that? Joe would not have found that idol without Cole, and he's given Cole the credit for that. So, Cole, if you're listening, there you go.
There you go. No, and it's true. But it's a boneheaded move that he even told Joe that it was there.
Oh yeah, of course. It's just really. That's what's been so cool about the season, and that tribe especially. Like you said, there's so many intertwining storylines. Jessica made this move to try to save the Healers, and then Cole made a move, or not really move, just kind of happened to be the real reason that they got saved. Really interesting. Yeah.
It's there's, like I said, the Healers are probably the most interesting tribe right now. And now finally, I feel like we actually get to know them. So I might as well jump over to this last tribe, which we spent the least amount of time with, but it does have Ryan and Allie, who are still my two favorites. They still got screen time tonight. We got Rourke, who had a good amount, like a decent amount of stuff going on tonight, even though what have we really seen from Rourke all year? And the thing is, like, we got, even though Rourke might not be killing in the confessionals, we've seen moments from Rourke pretty much every week. And tonight she had that whole thing where she's talking about, I can't believe I'm on the outside. Like, this is terrible. When she's standing there on the mat with the two Healers, the two Hustlers, and then Chrissy and who's the other one?
Rourke. Where am I looking?
Help me.
JP.
That's right. Yeah. So it's Chrissy and JP. And then she's standing there like, oh my God, I could be the odd one out. But I really think that tribe's another one where I could see Allie, Ryan, Rourke, and Chrissy working together. Because it seems like, look, you got the preview for next week where Chrissy walks up to JP and says, Rourke wants to do an all-girls alliance. And JP's like, well, she's got to go. Well, guess what? You know a merge is coming. If you can keep it where it's Rourke, and then Chrissy, Ryan, and Allie, of course you want to do that. You just won the first challenge. Get rid of JP before you can hit a merge and he could possibly win some stuff. Get him out of there. Why not do it now? There's really no reason not to.
And that's a solid group of four right there. That's a really strong group of four. I know we were texting about that during the episode. But we talked about Chrissy and Ryan. I mean, they had like the most romantic moment. Cole and Jessica have had some cute moments, but Chrissy and Ryan, I thought that we were going to shut off that TV because that was getting steamy.
It was like so authentic. That was the thing. And
it was cute. Oh my gosh, it was adorable.
I think it was really cute. But the funniest part, and we even texted each other during it, it's like you didn't get it because you reminded him of his mom. You got it because you were throwing up and looked like the weakest. So he could just be like, well, I'll save her now. And then if she's still around, she'll say, we can work together. Like,
oh my God.
It was because you were vomiting.
Yeah, no, but Ryan, like it was so funny because Ryan was like, I don't know, I just got a good vibe from you, and Chrissy's like, oh, he just sensed me on the boat. I was like, you guys, it's because she was on her knees tossing her cookies.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh yeah, I thought I could trust you. It's like, no, you didn't. You thought that she was going home. That's why you gave it to her. But no, I really thought this was cool. And now the more that I watch this, and Allie still had a good episode again tonight, the more I watch this, I mean, to me, it seems like Allie, Ryan, and Chrissy. I mean, this could be a final three. Like, this could be a final three. But the thing is, you're also looking at the other side. Jessica's having a phenomenal season right now. And you know, we just lost the storyline of Ashley and Allan. But Ashley's still there. Joe, I mean, where the hell's Joe going? Joe's got to hang around for a little bit longer because I don't think Joe's going next week. Desi had a little bit stuff. This is a really, 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 really good cast. I really think so. Because I feel like we've gotten to know just about everybody at this point. So
yeah, and we've gotten a lot of certain people, but not an overbearing amount. The editing on the season, especially tonight, has just been amazing. I'm really happy with the season's going so far, and I think people's biggest complaint about the season has been our easy vote outs. But man, tonight made up for anything people could have been complaining about because that was awesome.
I say it every single year. What people are complaining about is the fact that it's a new season of Survivor. It's like everything new is either the worst or the best. There's no longer
don't complain. This show has been on for 35 seasons.
Like, it's
this
one
is
of those
a blessing.
Like, Game Changers was probably like one of the worst, and Millennials vs. Gen X was probably one of the best. But I love all the people who are like, Millennials vs. Gen X is like a bottom season. It's like, no, it isn't. Like, no,
it's just followed Co-Wrong does not mean it's a bad season.
But then people even say Co-Wrong is a bad season, and it's like, just stop. Don't watch the show then, because clearly you just don't like Survivor at all. I think this has been really, really, really entertaining. And it's funny, you know Luber from Miami. You know him, right? Yeah. He texts me all the time. Every season he texts me. He's like, this cast is so boring. This cast is so boring. All I want to say is, like, dude, if you don't like it, like, stop texting me. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't need your opinion. I have all these people who watch me and tell me theirs. I don't need yours too.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing as those people who say, how is that show still on? Well, the fact that you're asking that question after I just said that I actively watch this show means that you know that it's still on. And the fact that it's still on proves that it's a damn good show. So
yeah. And tonight's episode proves that it is a damn good show, because tonight was awesome. And one last thing we definitely have to draw attention to, because this is, I think, the last puzzle of the season. This is the puzzle. The one that finished the immunity challenge is the puzzle that got John Kierhofer's attention. That's the one that Will had sent to Kierhofer after PopFest. It was that puzzle, but it was like with ribbons or something. And they actually turned that into that puzzle. And another one where I think this is a really different puzzle. I mean, you have the stand-up one before that where it's literally like spell heroes versus healers versus hustlers. Like, we've seen that a billion times, but this was a little bit different. This was almost like a tapestry, except instead of it just being a tapestry. Sorry, guys. It's like a tapestry, and I know I can't say jaguar, so I have to, at least say one word right.
Jaguar.
Yeah, but it's like a tapestry, except you're putting them on top of each other. And there were a couple times where it was like, oh, we got this. Oh, we don't got this. We don't got this. But it wasn't like, oh, what word could it be then? Which is what I always like. So
yeah,
I like
that.
Yes, exactly. I thought this was really good. And here comes Will once again with another really, 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 really solid puzzle. I mean, he went 2 for 2 on the season. I don't think he has another one on here, at least from what he's told me. But he goes 2 for 2 on the season. I mean, I'll take those types of puzzles every day over a word puzzle every single day. So
I know. No, I like it because it's kind of like his other challenge. You think you're there. Like, there's so many times where people thought they were close, but then as you're setting it in, you realize it's wrong. I love that. Crush the dreams.
Exactly. And you know what? Chrissy had a great moment there where she was like, no, there's not 2 reds on the end. Because that's how you have to look at that puzzle. You have to be looking at it right from the beginning to make sure. But really fun puzzle, really good stuff. Great episode. I guess we can jump over to some Twitter comments, and then we'll leave you guys alone. I know 2 days in a row of us is probably obnoxious. I know you're probably tired of us, so
yeah,
we'll do that. I'll start off with Larry Miller, who says, most frustrating thing about chips in bags, it's mostly air and not enough chips. Okay, here's another thing, and I like that we can start here. The other biggest problem is Cole told him every single detail about how Jessica found this. So when Jessica or when Mike hears this, he's hearing literally the play-by-play of how this was found. There's no way they're getting all that information just by guessing. Because Mike originally was like, oh, maybe it was in the bag. Oh, what was it in the basket? And they're like, no, it was in the bag of chips that Jessica had. And it's like, okay, how did they know that?
How did Lauren know that? Lauren's not even on the side. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I feel you on the air. I mean, at least there was an advantage. I would like, I mean, a bag of chips versus an advantage, I would take the advantage. But
yeah,
did you
exactly.
see the grease stains at the bottom of that? That looks freaking delicious.
Yeah, that looked
Yeah.
stomach numbing, I guess you could call it.
Stomach numbing. Steel Punch. Overall, I personally didn't like the episode. MVP Chrissy has control of yellow. LVP Cole lost not only trust but a hot girlfriend. Yeah, Cole might have lost his shot in 2 different departments on that one.
But he's hitting on Michelle Fitzgerald now, so in the end, he wins.
Yeah, in the end, he's really winning. But Phil,
sorry, Jessica, but
yeah, sorry, but Phil once kind of podcasted near Michelle, and it was the best thing that ever happened to him.
She was on my screen, and I looked across, and yeah,
and just it was all good.
Yeah, you all know the reaction. It was wonderful. Will and I looked like freaking children.
Yeah, I've turned it into the screensaver on the back of my
yeah, exactly. When Adam texts you and is like, "Why don't you guys like me that much?" It's like, okay, Adam's replayed that 1,000 times, like imagining him popping onto the screen.
Why don't they love me?
Reacting like that. Oh my God, they do love me.
Yeah.
All right. So MVP, LVP, since Steel Punch brought it up, I think I mean I'm honestly saying this. I really think I really think that Joe is the clear MVP. He said Chrissy, and I was looking at it. I really think Joe and Cole are the MVP, LVP. They're both on my team, so I'll say them both. I don't think anybody else could be LVP other than Cole because he messed up so bad and really blundered an alliance. But I don't think anybody other than Joe can be MVP because he had to know to keep that idol. I think it was just such a great play. And even though his move to get the target on him might not necessarily have worked, it did end up working at the very end. And that's the only time it mattered that it worked. So I think this episode could not have gone any better for Joe. And now he has the numbers on that tribe. And even if it is 2-2, there's no way Ashley, Devin, I could see doing it, but there's no way Ashley is actually going to put herself at risk for Devin in order to make a tie and have them go to rocks. I don't see it happening, and I think that Joe and Desi are now in the driver's seat on that tribe.
Yeah, they threw the rocks out there. They threw the word rocks out there in the preview, which I know gets everyone all stirred up, but I think that's a big time red herring there. Going to rocks before the merge is going to rocks in general is dumb, but going to rocks before the merge is even dumber. Yeah, I'm going to completely echo your thoughts on Cole for LVP, but for MVP, I'm going to give it to my girl Desi, who finally got some screen time here, and she got a lot. And Joe was clearly the one running this. Joe was the one with the idol. And like I said earlier, Desi in a heartbeat could have scooted over to the other people and just said, "Oh well, screw Joe. He's blowing up my game. He's throwing me under the bus." He's just letting me be thrown under the bus. But she handled that very elegantly. She handled tribal very well. She's extremely well spoken. We know that from all the preseason press, but she's in a really good position now because I don't think she necessarily owes her life to Joe, not the way that Jessica owed her life to David, but she knows that there's a connection now because the two of them really didn't have something early on. There's definitely a connection there, but I think she's just so naturally likable where she very well could go over with Ashley and Devin knowing that Joe doesn't have an idol now. And I think she's in a really good place going into the merge too because the healers really do have all the numbers.
Well, I'll just shut you down instantly here with that lame MVP throw here. Desi can't be MVP because she thought they were voting for her, so she wanted the idol, first of all. So that would have been wrong, which is what she wanted. That's why that's a better move for Joe. And also the reason she was so calm after all was said and done is because Joe went over to her and said, "Look, I have the idol, and this is why I did this." If he doesn't do that, I'm pretty sure Desi's probably jumping
in the actual argument, she didn't flip out. I mean, Ashley was like, "What the heck, guys?" And Desi was like, "It's gay."
But it was also her alliance member who was doing it. And I think like you have to, it's kind of like what happens but we just watched Panama. Okay. And when Aris comes over and starts throwing Melinda under the bus,
let me finish.
When it's your alliance, you can't do anything.
I let you finish earlier.
Yeah, but I've always been right.
Your aggressor, your alliance member is the aggressor. I mean, it was so good of her to just be like, okay, I am just going to say nothing. She said so much by saying nothing.
If you guys actually think that Desi is MVP tonight, go ahead and vote for her.
Phil, you would be vehemently defending someone on your team as well.
It is wrong.
You've had LVP 3 times in a row, and you've been vehemently defending everyone on your team, which is how the rules work. So
exactly, but I like how you get offended by the fact that I'm just throwing.
I'm not offended at all.
You are
I'm defending my teammate.
You're over here though. You're like, oh, of course you'd be defending your guy. Yeah, I would. I would. So stand by it. But I'm going to tell you that you're wrong.
But so that's why I'm standing by it.
And that's why I'm telling you you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
You're absolutely wrong. Gamer girl, since it's secret advantage.
Cool to have to have the last word.
I'll let you have the last word there. Good job. Okay. You did it. You're still wrong. See, I got it.
All right, that's cool.
Gamer girl, since a secret advantage came up in the first episode and at the tribe swap, will we see another one at the merge? This is where it gets tricky. I don't think they should do one at the merge because I think that's when it could actually impact the game too much.
I don't know if they should or shouldn't, but I think they're gonna.
You think they're gonna?
I think they're going to, because they've kind of been placing these. They did one at the first tribal council. Then they shook some things up. They're doing it at that first tribal council. They're probably going to do it at the actual merge, and it's probably going to affect the merge vote.
See, and that's my problem. I like what they've done with these first two is because like it's a 6-6-6 tribe and a 5-5-5 tribe. So what you do is you take this, you throw an advantage to somebody. If they don't lose, they can throw it to somebody in another tribe, whatever. It doesn't really affect the game too much. And both of them were kind of Chrissy got it, so that could have been big, but like it didn't affect the vote, and then this one didn't affect the vote. I pretty much feel like no matter what happens at the merge, because everybody's going to know each other at that point, it's going to affect what happens at the merge. And that's where I think it actually plays too much of an impact, because instead of the drama being around, oh my God, is this actually going to impact it? It's around, oh my God, who's the one who's going to get screwed by this?
Yeah, I know, and that's not. I'm not really looking forward to that.
Yeah, so I do think that that's where we're headed though, if they have one at the merge.
Yeah. Giovanni Oriana, best pre-merge vote in a good long while. Yeah, that was a pretty darn good vote. That kept me on the edge of my seat. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good because I texted you before the thing and I was like, there's like 3 people who go here, and I wasn't even including Joe in those. So there were really like 4 people who could have went. The only one, wait, did I say Ashley or Allan? I think I texted you Allan. Hang on. Let me see. I might have said Ashley.
I think you originally thought Devin was going to go.
I said it's Devin, Desi, or Ashley. So actually, I was completely wrong because then it came down to Allan and Joe. I had a pretty good feeling, though, it wasn't going to be Joe just because of how much they played up this idol. And also how pumped Joe has been about this season on social media. I would have been really surprised if he was the 4th.
Right. I know. He's been awesome on social. His tweet today that we retweeted was awesome. That was so funny.
That was really funny. Can somebody tell me what tribe I ended up on? I like that.
Someone please tell me.
Yeah. Gamer Girl said, why did they show Yellow celebrating like they won the reward challenge when Red won the reward?
Why did they show?
I think it was just because, even though it was a winner take all, I think it was just because like they didn't lose, and I think they were like, oh, we worked well together. Why be angry at each other? Yeah.
I actually didn't even notice that, so that was a good catch.
And it also could have been, we don't always see everything on Survivor. It could have been a really lame reward that went to the second people, and they were just like excited they got something.
You've had one lick of peanut butter, and you're all going to fight over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Giovanni again, is Mike being overhyped like Zeke was in Millennials versus Gen X? I don't think so. I don't think he's being overhyped.
No, because it was Ryan who was getting all of that. It was Ryan who got everything.
Mm-hmm.
Did you write down, by the way, I completely forgot. Did you write down who all the prop bets? I know Hollaback ended up being a hashtag. That was the only one.
I think the only ones we had were Hollaback, and Allan got voted out with no words.
Oh, he spoke.
No. Did he speak after he got
It was right after he stood up, the guy, because he said Hollaback, and then Allan said something back to him. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to check that. And then did Allan have a confessional in every episode he was in? He might not have.
We'd have to check that. But okay, so the big one was, I just want to make sure we got the hashtag because we can check all of those.
Yeah,
we can check everything else.
Yeah, no one said it, but hashtag busted was pretty funny.
That was really funny.
Yeah, that was well played.
Yeah, I like that. But nobody said it, so it doesn't matter. We have Jimmy O. I'm perplexed by Jessica's decision tonight. Wouldn't there have been less risk in canceling the vote of Allan or Ashley? Jimmy, I talked about that so much at the beginning. That's why I love Jimmy O'Connor. Because Jimmy O'Connor just understands the way that Phil thinks. Jimmy's been a real loyal fan, and
I also think Jimmy O'Connor's a redhead, so this is beautiful.
Is Jimmy? I think that might just be. Is that just the lighting? That might just be the lighting.
It's just the lighting.
It might just be the lighting. Trying to pull up a picture. That's just the lighting because in his little header photo thing, he has brown hair, clearly brown.
Arcs 13. At first, I didn't understand why people want Cole gone. Now I do. I think he'll go home for his tribal council. The red team goes to. Yeah, he very well could go home.
Yeah, I really think that he's got to be the first boot there. He's got no allies left because he's just thrown everybody under the bus. And I mean, Jessica, like you said, Jessica's super hurt by this. Super hurt. So
yeah.
let's see here. Oh yeah, and also Allan had less than 5 votes.
Oh, there we go. I'll write that down.
Because at the first tribal, I think he got one of them, and then all right. Anyway, Giovanni, did Desi and Joe target the right person? I absolutely think they did. I think Allan is seen as much more threatening and much more likely to blow up their game. But I also think that Ashley has a better chance to win the game. But I do think in this moment, Allan's the one you get rid of because Allan is just more threatening. So that's why I would do it here.
Yeah, I think you worded it really well. I mean, Allan is the one who fought back against Joe, so that's probably why he was the one who they went for.
Yeah, because much like you said with Desi, Ashley's standing there like she's still saying stuff back, but it's almost like she's being put on blast by somebody. Whereas Desi wasn't really being put on blast. It was when Allan was like, "Well, tell me why Desi's more useful than what do you call it? Than Ashley." And they actually didn't have an answer for that, which I thought was a great moment because he was absolutely right. And then it was like puzzles, and that's when Ashley spoke up and was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah. Arcs 13, where does Allan rank among the other players that were screwed by advantages? Allan was not screwed by an advantage.
No, not at all.
Not at all. In the slightest. If Devin could vote, this still would have happened.
Exactly. It would have happened 3-2, and the idol still would have been played, so it doesn't matter. Gamer Girl, there are 2 people who have gone way up in my books, which is just a saying. Those 2 are Ashley and Devin. I think Ashley's doing better without JP being there, and Devin's doing fine without Ryan so far. I still worry a bit for Devin moving forward, though. And still, I don't think Ashley or Devin are out of the woods on that tribe just because those other 2. But it could turn into a situation where Desi then goes back to the other 3 and is like, "Hey, let's just get rid of Joe because now he's got nothing and forget this guy."
Do you want to go next? I didn't see that tweet that you just read.
Yeah, I'll go again here. Do you think they'll stay at 3 tribes all pre-merge? That's from Gamer Girl. I kind of hope they do because right now we're down to what? We're down to 14. You're going to do 1 or 2 more votes at most. You might as well just keep it at this point. What would be the point of mixing it up again? And I think you really created. I actually think this 3 tribes of 5 has created a really exciting dynamic when the tribes are already so even before that.
Yeah, I think they'll keep it like we said. They're like you said a long time ago. There have been really large merges recently, and they're probably going to keep going with that. But on top of that, I really like all 3 of these have really cool storylines, so I want to see them all fleshed out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't even mind seeing all 3 tribes go to tribal council if they stay together that long. My guess would be next week they probably do one, and then after that they merge. So I would say there's probably only 1 more vote anyway, and that's why they did the 3 tribes of 5, knowing that at worst it gets down to 5-5-3.
Jimmy O'Connor, Will's acting is amazing compared to Cole.
Yes.
Go ahead. I like this.
We got Arcs 13. If Phil doesn't have a computer chair this time around, are we going to see him dancing while podcasting again? I am dancing. I got restless leg syndrome, so I can't help but bounce around. Thankfully,
dancing at the beginning too was hilarious.
Thankfully, I live on the first floor, so the people below me can't hear it. But I'm just I can't help it. And so hopefully I have a chair next time. I mean, the weekend is coming up, and I'm going to go absolutely wild buying furniture. Going to be an exciting time, but still in the move phase and sitting on my bed, it would just be too dark and wouldn't look cool. So I feel cool too. I'm more aggressive towards Alexa when I'm standing. I'm more willing to yell at her. So this is great.
More, welcome to post-grad life where the exciting thing to do is buying chairs.
Yeah, exactly.
Larry Miller, on the plus side, Cole wouldn't cheat on Jessica because he's a terrible liar. That is a plus.
Yes, exactly. So if you're ever going to date Cole, you know what you're getting. Stephen Holt says you had more energy standing up last week than the episode you were talking about. I hope this week you get a chair. Thank you so much, Stephen. Stephen always writes these great things about me and chair, not having a chair. He also wrote a review on one of the 5 things that I did afterwards. So
he did,
it's always great. We told everybody, tell us what you think about the things that we write, and we got exactly 0 response on that. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much.
We're going to chalk it up to it being less than 24 hours, but please tell us.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I write this thing tonight and I just reiterate every single thing I've said in a drunken ramblings of it's 10 o'clock at night and I just want to go to bed, you guys will love this. So it's going to be a great one tonight. Let's see here. Jacob Kaufman, when I finally started enjoying watching Allan, he gets voted out. Yeah, Allan actually did have a head on his shoulders. He had a knack for this game that just he screwed himself early by being so aggressive, but he started to recover and it actually ended up hurting him.
Yeah, I was actually, when they were put together, I thought Ashley was gonna just drop him. But yeah, he was good. He's a really interesting character. I'm looking forward to reading his exit interview.
Mhm.
Um,
Go ahead.
but Nintendoshi, pointless question, but am I the only one who hates the way that Devin sits at Tribal? This isn't the first time I've heard about this. A lot of people talk about how Devin sits at Tribal, but I have no idea how he sits. Have you paid attention to that? I have not.
It's just very straight up and down, and his upper body looks so much longer than it should be. Like he sits very back. Like he sits like he's like in like a really strict chair, when in reality, like he could just be leaning forward like everybody else is. I think that's what people are talking about.
Maybe also, he has good posture though.
I know, and I did say to you, I don't know if anybody saw it. I just want to throw it out there because it's like one of my favorite movies, so I think it's great. But everybody wants some. Devin is Plumber in that movie. If you have seen that movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The way he like talks about like, man, I'm like actually scared today. Like this is the first time I'm scared. Like it's exactly Plumber the first time that he smokes in the apartment, and he's like, oh my god, like you're thinking of sharks. Like it's it actually blew my mind. So if you have seen the movie, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie because it's amazing. But also, God, Devin, it's just perfect. It's just perfect.
I think it's your turn.
Okay, Nintendo, do you guys think Jessica will cause Cole's downfall / boot? Cole's already caused it all. I don't think it has anything.
Jessica doesn't need to do anything. But it will be a cool like arc though. It will be a cool arc for them instead of the normal showman's arc.
Well, and not only that, how cool was it when Mike came over and said they know about your advantage, and she was like, "What do you mean they know about?" Like she lost her mind. She was like, "What are you talking about?" That was so authentic.
I know, that was great. And then when he tells her, "Oh, I may have mentioned it to Ben," she just like drops her head on the raft.
I know. She starts like laughing, but you can tell that like her gut, she wanted to throw up everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Zach successfully predicted one-time advantage. Will we get a vote steal at the merge? I don't know. If you predicted it once and you think it's going to be vote steal at the merge, here we go.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind so much. I guess a vote steal would be okay. I wouldn't even want a vote steal. Like the vote negate is cool. Like what we saw tonight is kind of cool. And if you do that at the merge, like it still takes away a lot of the drama. The merge is already so dramatic. You don't need that, but
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Patty Joe. I think that losing Allan was really no skin off Ashley. She didn't want him on her tribe anyways. Yeah, she was just super pumped to still be there. That's all she cared about.
Yeah, I know. That was her reactions are amazing. She's just like, why am I still here?
Wide-eyed every time.
Jacob Kaufman, if Devin uses the advantage and blocks Desi or Joe's vote, it would have been perfect because they could split it. That would have been perfect, but Devin didn't get the advantage. Jessica got the advantage.
Is what I think this is more going back to like our point of like what was so confusing about like, wait, is he now good? Because it still says secret advantage. Like, is he going to be able to do that?
Yeah,
it would have been interesting.
Cool. Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
Yeah,
because he would have done Desi or Joe, but who does he do? And does that show their hand? Because then you're playing the whole freaking prisoner's dilemma where it's like, wait a second, he's giving it to Joe, telling Joe he can't vote because they're voting Desi, or is he giving it to Joe and telling Joe he can't vote because they're actually going to vote Joe? That would have been a really, really cool dilemma there.
Yeah. Giovanni, is Lauren now in a better position to reach the merge? Yeah, she definitely.
Yeah. I think Cole goes on that tribe anyway, so I think she's set to hit the merge.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimmy O'Connor, my man, I love this stuff. Alexa, I think you're being results oriented. Just because Desi and Joe stayed in the game doesn't mean she played it well. So
I said she didn't play it poorly. I know that's splitting hairs, but I mean, the more that like we're talking about this, I do believe that it wasn't the best move, but it wasn't a bad move. There is a difference between a bad and a good move. I think it wasn't a terrible move. That's the whole thing I've been arguing.
I'm really curious, though, what ends up happening with Jessica moving forward on this season, because Jessica's gotten a really positive edit, and she's been shown to be very aware. And I wonder, let's say this was Cole who was able to give it to somebody. They might have shown this in a more negative light had it been Cole, who's not going to go on to win this game. But because it's Jessica, and we could be getting a winner out of Jessica here, maybe they are kind of like trying to be like, no, look, this worked out for her. As opposed to like if Cole did it, they might have maybe put more question in your head of like, was this the right move? Did he do this? I think that could have been more it. And had it been Cole or something, they might have shown Cole and Jessica deliberating a lot more than what we saw. because I'm sure there was a lot of deliberation on who to give this to. But because it's Jessica, I think they're showing it in a more positive light because I do think Jessica is meant to go very deep in this game.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. The evolution of what we're told.
There you go.
Read it.
Last one.
Danny Schaub, Ooh. Why wouldn't Cole or Joe, knowing what the idol was at Healer Beach, look for one in the same spot at their new beaches?
Great question.
Great question. Considering that's happened a handful of times. Great question. Especially, I don't know.
Why Cole hasn't looked for that idol, I will never know. But then again, I don't know why Cole's doing a lot of what he's doing, so I guess I can't really question it. God, Cole, God. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's it for Twitter comments. We'll get to we'll get to the YouTube comments on our predictions. That's what we've been doing.
Yeah, exactly. So comment here, vote for LVP, MVP, either on Twitter or on here. That's where we'll count them. We're not going to count them if they're on the other, if they're on any of the other videos. We won't have.
Yeah. How's your bouncing going? How's it going?
I'm bouncing. Like I'm ready to sit down, write this thing, go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm moving around. I'm dancing.
All right, cool. In that case, you want to wrap it up? I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool. So like Phil said, vote MVP, LVP. It's easier for us to tally it if you do it if you comment on this video, but you can tweet at us too. Leave a comment on this video regardless if you want us to talk about it on our predictions podcast, which we will actually try to have on Sunday instead of the night before the actual episode. We will post we've been posting on weekends, the prop bet and the bootless standings, so we'll do that again this weekend. In the meantime, like our Facebook page, tweet at us, follow us on Twitter, listen to us on iTunes, listen to us on YouTube, tell your friends, and we'll be back this weekend.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you all then.